Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to D.R.O.N.E with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the map editor after a very long time. So, there has been a bit of a gap between the last video and this one, and honestly, it's purely because I found out something incredibly quickly. I am not particularly good, nor do I have a strong interest in map creation. I did try to make videos 3 separate times, and they all ended up being utterly terrible, even for my standards. But with the D.R.O.N.E crowdfunding about to start, links in the description if you want to check out that for full details, I think it's time we try and make something. I want to make at least something before the demo gets updated, before anything changes, just to say I've done something, and honestly, I do want to get more attention to this game, because it's a game I think could be wonderful if it's done in the way I think it's going to be done, and it just looks awesome as well. So, with that, if I can remember the button to press now, here we are back in the map mode after realising that I needed to press N to get out of the D.R.O.N.E, and so let's have a quick look-see at what I want to do. And honestly, what I want to do is just what I was talking about in the previous video, in the first impressions video, which is a small underground arena completely within the rock, so you can't see outside anywhere really outside of some artificial lighting, so maybe I will have a window somewhere, but probably not, and then having that with 1 or 2 entrances. So this will just be one of the corners of the map. I don't want it to span the entire map, because honestly, I would like to have stuff on the outside still, but I do want this to be quite a prominent feature, so I think it's going to take up most of the corner. Now, the easiest way I can think of doing this is something like this. So first of all, we put this down, we'll fill it in just a moment, so that will be the main section, which we can shorten later. Let's just add some extra shapes, just to make this easier again later, and then have a room off to the side. Oh, that's way closer to the edge than I originally thought, but honestly, that's fine as well. So what this is going to act as is just a way to up all of the mountains around here without upping this section. So there will be a gap up from above, but then we can just cover that with the rocks and stuff to make it look a bit more natural, and then we can do the same with the entranceway. So how many entrances do I want? I think I only want 2 entrances at most. So let's say I want one here, because what I want it to look like is a ruined sort of installation, something like that. So you go inside and it's all rusty, it's got things fallen down, they've got some beams holding up the roof, but not all that much. It looks like at one point maybe it was functional, but no longer. So maybe a thinner entrance there, and then that will be it. Then around that we'll raise up the mountains, and then we can start building on the inside. So all we need to do now is just fill this, and then we can start building properly. All filled, and now we are in the terrain mode, and we're just going to up the mountain around here. We'll try to make it look a bit more natural in a little while, but for now, just using the default generator just to do this. So this corner will be one huge mountain, which definitely dominates the map, but I don't want it to be everything. We could even have stuff on the top, since I'm considering that this might be a little bit too high. Actually, no, I like it like that. I like having the real obvious distinction between the flat land and then that. And it does look pretty awesome for a basic generation there. Yeah, that seems absolutely fine. Then we'll leave this here, and I think this is where the entrance might be. I was thinking about making it a bit more obvious, but I do like the idea of it being completely broken down. So now the entranceway, the only way to get in is via a hole in the map here, and then perhaps the other one can be extended a bit further, and then this one be a bit more of a traditional entrance, actually going down to ground level, or being raised up perhaps with some ladders, and then, oh yeah, that would be a better way of doing it. Yeah, this will have a proper entrance using some ladders and stuff here, then this one will just be the entrance via a broken down section of this mountain. I think that's what I'm going to do, but first, I think I might just increase this a little bit. Just to make that a bit easier. Yeah, then we'll raise the mountain a bit here on the side so that we can make this arch a bit more dramatic. Once again, though, I am incredibly new to all this kind of stuff, and I don't really enjoy map creation all that much. Not that I'm not enjoying doing this now, but it's not something I like doing in the long term. Some people can spend so long building their perfect map, using everything to their advantage, and that's just not my interest. I do enjoy doing this, but I don't get all that far is the problem. Then we'll start using rocks and stuff to fill in the gaps. Though we probably shouldn't use the same type of rock over and over again in the exact same area, because then it becomes a little bit on the more obvious side. So for this entrance then, I want it to look caved in. I want it to look like there's loads of rocks on the floor, lots of things have been destroyed, and that's why you can no longer see where the entrance even was. The only reason you can get in this way is because this section of wall here, this section of mountain, has simply collapsed in. So I need lots of bits of debris on the floor, making it look utterly filthy, honestly. So like lots of tiny little rocks. Okay, now the problem is with that, is as you can see, you can't put it on these tiles, so I will need to destroy these tiles first of all, and then all of this will just be pure rock, and then we'll build up so it doesn't look like it's quite as sheer-faced. Now that's not so much of a problem inside, although I do want it to look a bit less like this, just because at some point this was meant to be a building, and of course a lot of this can be done with walls, so we are actually going to put some walls up in here. And there we are. At least with the very first line of this. And yes, I am overusing the same props, I do admit that, but once again, I'm not the most creative of sorts, and for me, that's okay. That looks okay. I will definitely learn better methods of using all the tools at my command as well as I continue. If I do make more of this, I can only imagine I will get better, but for now, that looks okay. Looks like it's actually fallen in. Once again, I will be doing walls soon, so there will be a point where the wall meets these rocks, and then it will look a lot smoother. The only thing I'm really scared of doing, honestly, is the complete roofing section. I don't know if there's any way of just using the regular terrain tool over these slabs, and I don't think there is. I am, though, very tempted to carve out a section in the middle to allow the mountain back in, so it does break it up a little bit. Because I don't think there's enough of these rock types to really make a full ceiling and make it look natural. Maybe. Maybe there will be. There are a lot of different variations, to be fair. But it is very obvious where there was mountain and where there isn't. And I guess you can't put a terrain on top of the mountain, which is a bit of a shame. Like there, no. In fact, I just deleted half of the mountain there. Let's try that again. Well, we're definitely getting there, but one thing I'm not happy with is the actual size of the place. I don't want it to be quite so high up in regards to the roof here. So, what I think I'm going to do is lower the roof on the inside, leave it like this here, so that you go in, then you have to duck down, then once you've ducked down to about, maybe this height, maybe a little bit higher, maybe about this height, then you enter the actual compound section here, which means we need to make it look like all of this has fallen onto a compound which is a bit lower than the actual height of, let's say, here. So I'm going to need some doors just randomly broke here, some random other objects, to make it look like damage has occurred. Also, I love how these shots bounce. As a random side note. I'm also thinking that we're not going to be able to finish this completely today. I was hoping I could, since I'm not really doing anything too spectacular, nothing really which is too complex, but yeah, already been way over an hour. Just getting used to a lot of the controls, I suppose. Okay, gotta admit, that looks pretty nice. A bit of overuse of the same rock type over and over, but it definitely works. So that will be the main entrance, and because it's so big, I'm actually tempted not to do the entrance over here as a proper entrance, but instead, maybe we could have a hole in the top, and yeah, the top obviously isn't done yet because, well, copy and pasted, but a hole in the top maybe here, or perhaps here-ish, which also is broken in, then that way we can have loads of debris on the floor, and perhaps even some of the broken trees and stuff sort of sticking out, or some of the grass. You know, I think that might be better. Or, of course, I could have 3 entrances. So we have the main entrance here, well, at least the current main entrance. Then we have a small entrance here, which is less damaged. Then we have a complete cave-in in the center. Ow. Yeah, I think that may be the case. But for now, I'm just going to finish off this section, because clearly it's not exactly clean yet. Then we can move on to all of that. Once I've done all that, then I'll start putting down the buildings. The buildings may be next episode at this rate. Just a warning. And yes, this does mean that there's probably going to be 2 episodes. So I'm thinking a wall pretty much covering the entire inside with gaps like this where it's been broken down, so maybe quite a large gap here, and then another cave in, so all down there, kind of spilling out into the main section here, and then perhaps half the building collapsed into it, and then that will be the first building we build. The word building is now sounding kind of weird. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll just make sure to paint the outside walls here a different colour to the building walls. Then that way it will look at least different. Maybe. Ooh, how about destroying this corner? No, I think I want the corner here, at least this corner, to be solid. This area is going to need such a cleanup after the very skeleton is done, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're just adding the skeleton so then we can fill it and clean it later, which is a really weird way of saying that, I've got to be honest, but still, it's pretty much what we're doing. Also, I need to be careful because a lot of the rock types don't have the bottom graphic finished, which means if you put ones like this on top and then look up, yep, you can see straight through it. So there we are. And once again, need to be careful. Just grab any random one to just fill it in quickly. There we go. So, how big should this cave-in section be? How much should this be where it's collapsed? I don't want it to be huge, because then it would require loads of debris on the floor, which would then make it less easy to add a building or two. At the moment, I'm thinking one building here with a partial collapse, or perhaps here with the partial collapse, and then on the other side have another building built into the wall, which is more undamaged, so we can add all loads of little items like, where are you? Go to objects, and yes, we have all kinds of things here we can add. In fact, if we go down to dynamic, there's even beer and stuff, and whiskey, so that's pretty interesting. We can make a little office section, which I think will be pretty nice. I do like how big this is, though, because once I activate all of the lighting again, once I bake the lighting, I will need some light coming down, and the lights available to us aren't particularly potent, these ones here, and I don't really want to use too many of them, because I don't like how they look. There are different colour variants, but they are just essentially giant balls of light, so the less of those the better. That's actually the main reason why I decided to end up going with this, when originally I wanted 2 small entrances and then all of this to be completely sealed off. Maybe a little bit smaller then, just do this for now. Yep, just using the same rock over and over. I know it's not exactly the best idea, but just to make it easier to move things around. Now, these are a much smaller rock, just to fill in that gap there, because that was annoying me. One of these. Yeah, maybe like that. Maybe like that. Then we can put some trees around here as well, make it look like this hasn't been damaged too much. Although, oh, I've just thought of an idea. Because of how, what's the word here? It looks very cracked up here. It looks very broken. And of course, we will make that look less so in the future, but right now it's very broken looking. How about we extend this even further and make it look like this whole section has slid down, so the entire mountain has sort of failed and just broken up down this way, and that is what caused this to happen, and that is what absolutely destroyed the original entrance. Then we'll just put some stairs here and stuff going to nowhere, which have been broken by the rocks. So, a giant rock slide, essentially. I like that idea, and plus, that would mean this area here can be very, very debris heavy, and perhaps hide something of interest in there, like a small hiding spot or two just built out of rocks. I like that, and then perhaps build some walls which have been buried. Yeah, not the most realistic looking sides here. Once again, these will be cleaned up later. So there we are, the landslide, it goes down here, and there's all rocks everywhere. It all looks like it's all been destroyed, which is nice. I might add some trees here, then a broken down few trees there, as if there was life here once, and then the big old bad mountain destroyed everything, because that's what big old bad mountains do. Now, on the inside, how does that look is the question. Ooh, that looks worse than I expected, actually. Okay, so we definitely need to make this look more caved in. I'm going to do that. Yeah, okay, what I think I'll do is I'll break down some of the rocks here so this whole corner is gone. Then I will just plaster loads of little broken bits of rock here, which we can mold later, and then there's that section pretty much done. I might make it so you can go behind this and there's a bit of a hiding spot. If there was ever drops in the game or something, that's kind of where I'd end up putting it. So yeah, it makes sense to me. Oh, I also added pillars, because pillars look cool in my opinion. And look, there's a broken thing. I don't know what it is, but it's a thing, and I've been told it's broken. Looking a bit more ruined now at least, as my voice apparently cracks. So yeah, this area looks a little bit more like it's been ruined and wrecked. Just needs some more stuff randomly lying around, as if it was actually once something. Don't really know what. Perhaps we'll make this section here into a wall, and then put out some walls going out. Ah, yeah, that's what we can do. Pretend there was once a building here, then have all of its innards sort of splayed out here as if it's been gutted horribly. Because that's what mountains do to buildings. Baking the lighting is kind of terrifying. Say goodbye to all of your frames! They are the mountains now. And also I'm now realizing I am becoming quite scared of the mountain as I build it. The first time this happened, when I was trying to fix the lighting, it scared me half to death, because it looks like the mountain has consumed all of our building, as if our building never even existed. And that's just because the mountain is now fully loaded back in, but our tiles haven't, which means the mountain is here. And will consume all. But it should be back in a second. That was taking way too long to work, so I just kind of stopped it. Anyway, what next then? Oh yeah, we're going to build this, weren't we? So I've just put down a little bit of wall, and I'm realising we don't really have all that much space. So how about, instead of what I was going to do originally just here, we have the building as if it crossed the entire area and has now been broken down. So if we put this back down here, like so, then we have the walls going here. That bit's broken because mountain is evil, as we are quickly establishing. And I'll sort out these rocks in a bit because now it's currently just merging into everything. And then we just have these kind of haphazardly placed like this for a second. Sure, why not? How about we add a window here? Yeah, we'll add a window there and there, so I'll quickly remove those. Then the other side will just start about there and only be about 2 wide. Yeah, that way it looks like this has just completely crushed the building. Like there was something there, now there ain't. If you worked in this building, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. There is no longer a building for you to work in. I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. And so there were windows. There we go. That almost looks like it may have existed at one point, maybe, even though I don't quite get how the floors are currently working. Oh, that's neat. I didn't think the window would kind of survive like that. That is very cool. Tempted to remove it, though, so this looks more like it actually was damaged like that, and less like it looks currently, where the glass is stronger than all known substances in human history. Maybe we'll just leave that one broken. Huzzah for that. And then we can add some floors, which are all broken down and stuff. Oh, no, lower. Thank you. Then after that, we can add some ladders and stairs. Maybe. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Who knows? You think I would know? But no. At this point, as you can probably tell, my mind is going, and I'm a little bit under the weather. And I was okay at the start of this recording, but after a couple of hours of getting used to things, no, I am getting significantly worse. Sure, let's just do it like that for now. The building over there will have more complete, so we can really map these out and put down desks and stuff. Okay, we're going to put a desk, and I've said that. Oh, hello. I am sorry, Mountain. Does the talk of desk make you upset? As we know, the desk... Sorry, the mountain is our overlord. Is it in dynamic? Oh, so it is. I didn't know this was dynamic. Dynamic, rather. Oh, well. I have 2 desks, one there, one there. And then we need chairs. Are there no chairs? Am I blind? I can't see a chair. That's curious. Also, I don't know what that actually is. I could have swore there were oops, Daisy did not mean to do that, but I did. There we go. Behold the floating desks. Let's just, reattach that, shall we? There we go. All is well and good. Nobody saw anything. I just learned something. Apparently rocks, which don't yet exist, can still interact with most dynamic items. So you can kind of play games with them. This is not going well. Let's ignore the fact that there's currently a desk in the flooring there. Because, you know what? I don't think that's an issue. Actually, now I've said that, I wonder if these count as existing. Now I've destroyed them. Well, now I've moved them. Will they reload in place if I reload the game? We'll find out in a moment after we give this fellow some whiskey. There we are. One down there for good luck. And some non-whiskey. And a little Coke. And all you get is a Coke because you're trying to be good. This is the diet version. What's it actually branded as, if anything? King. King Cola? Since 1883. Excellent. Enjoy your King, sir. Now, you don't have seats. Will this suffice? Yes, it will. This is where you sit, and this is where you work. Somehow, the monitors still have power. That's just the future for you, I suppose. And, whoa, that's glitching out. It's down there. I didn't actually place that, though. Can I try that again? But this time... Nope, apparently I can't. I think I need to reload. So it turns out that, yes, things do in fact stay where you move them to. So, as you can see, we have this lovely thing down here, we have that there as our first bits of debris, and then we have the ceiling desk, which I think is pretty... Ooh, okay, ceiling desk, stay. Goodbye, ceiling desk. Okay, that's good, though. And let's give this wall a bottle of whiskey as well. There we go. So then next, let's sort out this bit then. Let's start ruining this floor section. I'm going to leave this here for now, like that. Because all of this sort of stuff I want to do at once at the end, once I know how the rest of the area is finally shaped up. Because clearly this is still a blank canvas, so is that, and we need to do this centerpiece here, which will have at least 2 trees, I've decided, because I think that looked pretty cool. Though honestly, I think this is going to work, this type of design all broken down, even with this paint scheme. Although I'm definitely going to change the painting on the floor because I don't think that works as well. But it does look ruined, it looks like somewhere you can hide in and fight in. And I'm starting to think maybe it should have been bigger. Because when you're a drone, ta-da, that isn't a particularly huge space. Still love the bouncing effect, though. Now, where's that really huge drone? There we are. Yeah, this one's gonna have trouble in this area. Can you see floor desk here? No, you can't. I kind of want to shoot at floor desk. Let's shoot at floor desk. Or ceiling desk, even. There we go. Floor desk? Now I have holes in it. But yeah, I don't think this is actually a big enough space, so if we do finish this map completely, not just this section, not sure if I will or not, then there's going to need to be more outside, I think. Well, definitely. Ta-da! So that is our little debris pile. Fallen in from there, and because it has constant sun, I'm sure rain as well, it's grew up and it's all nice and green. Although this one poor tree managed to have a rock fall on it. Now this actually reminds me very much of The Awesome Soul, because he made a section very similar to this with a small cave and then had a little section in the middle like this where it's fallen through. And I've only just remembered that, and all I can think of is, yeah, that's exactly what he did. So there we go, we're doing things other YouTubers have already done. Huzzah for that. But I do like it, though. I think it looks really nice. And we could add some greenery here as well, make this look a bit more alive. Although I don't want this to be quite as alive, I just want it to be a bit more ruiny. But just a couple of the very basic plants just here and there. Just so it looks a bit less static, looks a bit less one-dimensional. Then maybe have a couple of trees growing on the outside which haven't quite been affected, since we will be adding trees to the outside anyway to make it look more alive and more natural. Ooh, look at that one. Growing sideways, like, oh, that'd be cool. Maybe like this. No. Maybe there. and then like that. Like the rock underneath has fallen, but that one hasn't quite, and then just add some more rocks and stuff so it looks a bit more secure, because right now it looks like that just shouldn't exist. That's neat. So we go in, archway, little bit of life but not much. We have that. Oh, that looks really cool, doesn't it? You go in and that's what you see. Yeah, I like that. Over here is a destroyed area which doesn't really have much. Then we're going to have a major building. Going to have a major building here, then a ruined building there, and then probably some more buildings on the flatland. And apparently at some point I managed to place a pillar mid-air. I don't know when I did that, but that is there. So, I think we've done quite well for our first day, especially since I'm still getting used to everything. Apparently at some point I placed down a tile without realising it, and so now we have a random hole into the centre of the world. But regardless of that, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's video. I will remind you that in the description there are full details about the crowdfunding campaign for this game, which is occurring very, very soon. I can't quite remember the exact date, but it is in the description, and probably in the comment section. I've actually had a lot of fun today, despite the fact this isn't normally my interest. I'm not particularly good with map design and all that, but I have actually had a load of fun recording this finally. So hopefully in the next episode, which should be just after the weekend, we can go ahead and finish off all of this inside, finish off the mountain, and then maybe we can make a cinematic with the inbuilt recording software, which honestly just makes some really, really cool cinematics, in which you can use several drones, and we can have a little mock fight in the center here, if we have enough time. But either way, I will be finishing off the map. So, if you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that D.R.O.N.E is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Now where is that hole of death?